pals, I'm here today to do an autumn book haul. I've got a few books here I had on pre-order and I was really excited for. Some books I picked up because I wanted to make sure to read them before the end of the year, and also a few books I was kindly sent from the publishers. So the first two I'm not going to dwell on because I mentioned them both in a recent releases video of like books I was excited for that were coming out in the autumn, and they are Burntcoat by Sarah Hall and The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki. I had this one on pre-order, can't wait to read it, it's quite short, so I'm definitely going to try and fit it in this month. This one's much longer, it's like 550 pages, and that is The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki. This is a proof copy. Jen from the channel, Jen Campbell, who I'm sure you watch, had a second proof copy of this, so she kindly sent it my way because she knows how much I enjoy Ruth Ozeki's work. So yeah, these are two favourite authors, so very exciting to have. Both of them have new books out, and I'm going to try and read both of them this month. Let's see if I can manage it. Then what should I mention next? There's a couple of books that I have been sent from the publishers that I'm really excited about. I was contacted about this book. This is called Daughter of Black Lake by Cathy Marie Buchanan, and to be honest I'd stumbled across this book I think on Goodreads and was quite interested in it, so I was sort of keeping an eye on it to see what the review sounded like. So when the publisher contacted me and said, would you like a copy, this is published by Riverhead Books, who are an imprint of US Penguin Random House. So I was contacted by them and said, like, would you like a copy of this book? And I was like, hell yes, because I think this sounds quite like Juliet Marilla, who I will discuss later in this video. So this is set, it says it's the season of fallow in the era of iron. In a northern misty bog surrounded by woodland and wheat fields, a settlement lies far beyond the reach of the Romans, invading hundreds of miles to the east. And you follow a young girl who's coming of age, and then 17 years later the settlement is a changed place. And we follow this girl who's like lived through it, and she has an extraordinary gift. So I think this is going to be predominantly historical fiction set in like really olden times, but also with a touch of magic. You know, at the time the sort of most prominent belief system was paganism. I am really interested, love reading books at a historical time period. There's always such a deep connection with the natural world, so can't wait, and I think this cover is very nice. And then I also had, this is very exciting, a copy of Jen's new book, which is The Sister Who Ate Her Brothers and Other Gruesome Tales. This is written obviously by Jen Campbell and illustrated by Adam D'Souza. The cover is excellent. Jen sent me a few pictures of some of the illustrations in this a while back, and I just think they're absolutely beautiful. The art style is stunning, and also I'm just so excited that Jen got the opportunity to write this book, because I think the stories were really good. So when this came through in the post, Johnny immediately saw it and said, can we read that together? So I think we're gonna hold off on reading this until the week of Halloween, and then maybe read a story or two each night before bed and get spooked out. So yeah, can't wait to read that one, and it's the perfect time for it. And then, like I said, mentioned Juliet Marilla earlier, I've just picked up her newest trilogy. So I've read the entire Seven Waters series, which is 6 books, and I absolutely loved the first 3. The final 3 were a little bit more rocky for me, but the first 3 were just excellent. And I've also just finished the Blackthorn and Grimm trilogy, which this series is sort of a follow-on from it. So if you read this first, you get spoiled for an element of the Blackthorn and Grimm trilogy. So, but you know, you could read them out of order, it doesn't really matter. But I purposefully waited until all 3 books were out because I love binge reading Juliet Marilla's books. The first book is The Harp of Kings. This trilogy is called the Warrior Bards trilogy. The second book, I think I'm getting this right, is A Song of Flight, and the third and final book is A Dance with Fate. So you can see there's this sort of red-headed woman on the cover of all 3 of them. So she is called Livaughn, and she is training to be sort of like a warrior slash spy on somewhere called Swan Island, which comes up in Juliet Marilla's other books. They're sort of like in interconnected worlds, which is ancient Ireland. There's a strong connection with paganism in the land, and there is usually a mystery taking place that has some element of the Fae, like the other realm in it. So like I said, we're following Livaughn, and she's training to be this spy type warrior, and she gets sent on a mission with her brother and with another boy who's training to be a warrior who she doesn't get on with, and they all have to pretend to be someone they're not. So in this book, her and her brother are pretending to be musicians, and Dow, the boy she doesn't like, is pretending to be a mute stable hand, and they're trying to collect information because a king is about to be crowned, but as part of the sort of custom in that area, this harp has to be played during his coronation, and the harp has been stolen from the Druids, so they're sent there to try and locate this harp. But there's lots of other story going on with their characters, which I'm sure will carry through to the whole trilogy, so I'm very excited about that. And then I have a couple more that I was kindly sent. So I was contacted by Pushkin about Little Gods by Meng Jin. So this came out last year in a hardback, and I really wanted to pick a copy up and just never got around to it. So I was really happy when they contacted me about this beautiful paperback copy. So you may have heard about this one. This opens on the night of the Tiananmen Square massacre, which I've read about in a couple of novels, but it's obviously a horrific event, but it was such a turning point in the history of a nation that I think it's an interesting point to follow in terms of like characters from that point on. So on that night, a woman gives birth alone in a Beijing hospital, and then we follow their life and their death, and I think the daughter of that woman travels from China to the US, and she begins to piece together how her mother's obsessive desire to erase her own past has marked the lives of those around her, including Leah's own. So I think that sounds great. Can't wait to read that one. And this one came through in the post a couple of days ago. I didn't request this and hadn't been asked, so I don't keep all the books like that because they're not all of interest, but this one sounds really good. I think it comes out in March next year, so I've been sent it quite early, and that's Good Intentions by Kasim Ali. This sounds like a contemporary novel with an element of romance. So it says that Nur and Yasmina are in love. They've been together for 4 years, but Nur's parents don't know that Yasmina exists. And I think that is because he has Pakistani parents and his girlfriend is black, which is something he knows they won't support. And so it's getting close to New Year, and he's made a promise to himself that on New Year's Eve he will tell his parents about his girlfriend, and tell them that he wants to spend the rest of his life with her, and you're sort of following that as it unfolds, which I think sounds intriguing. Now we're on to the last three, and this first one I also mentioned in an anticipated releases video that was about memoirs, which I'll link above. I've heard really excellent things about this one, so very excited to read it, and it's very beautiful as well. And that is Small Bodies of Water by Nina Mingya Powles. I understand this is a collection of essays centred around small bodies of water, and how they sort of connect and disconnect us. Nina Mingya Powles is a sort of freshwater, open water swimmer, and it says she first learned to swim in Borneo, where her mother was born. Her grandfather studied freshwater fish, and she travels all the way from the wild coastline of New Zealand to a pond in northwest London. It says this book looks at everything from migration, food, family, earthquakes, and the ancient lunar solar calendar to butterflies. It reflects on a girlhood spent growing up between two cultures and explores what it means to belong. There's so many ticks. I cannot wait to read this one. I feel like this could be a favourite of the year. And these next two haven't been published in the UK either, so I've been wanting them since they came out either last year or the year before, but it's just taken me a while to pick them up. This first one has recently come out in paperback, hence why I managed to get a copy, and that is Carrie, A Memoir of Survival on Stolen Land by Toni, Jensen. This author is an Indigenous woman. She's Métis, and I think she grew up in rural Iowa, and it says this is a powerful poetic memoir about what it means to exist as an Indigenous woman in America, told in snapshots of the author's encounters with gun violence. So I've read a lot of memoirs, but I haven't read a memoir that is told through like gun violence. I think that'd be really interesting, and I've just heard amazing things about this. This has got really high reviews and ratings on Goodreads. And then lastly, I've wanted this book since it was released. I adore the cover. I think it has a brilliant title. I haven't seen many people talk about it. The people I have heard talk about it have raved about it, and that is the beautiful Small Game Hunting at the Local Coward Gun Club by Megan Gale Coles. This is set in Valentine's Day during a blizzard, so it's supposed to be like super cold, so I definitely want to read this during the winter. And while this blizzard unfolds, we're focused around the Hazel restaurant, the customers within, like all these different people, and also a homeless lady who is outside on the freezing streets sort of watching it all unfold. It says it's a storm system of sex, betrayal, addiction and hurt. Through rolling blackouts we glimpse the truth behind the shroud of scathing lies and unrelenting abuse, and discover that resilience proves most enduring in the dead of this winter's tale. So I think this is going to be pretty bleak, but I really love novels that focus on a group of characters who are linked just by proximity rather than any like relationship to one another, and a book that looks at like different experiences and how they can all converge in one location. So I feel like this could be a favourite read of the year, and I mean, I just love that cover. I just think it's beautiful. So I'm definitely going to have to look into the artist and see some of their other work. Can we see who did the cover? Rebecca Suzanne Haynes. So I'm going to have to look up her artwork because I love this. So yeah, those are all the books. There's loads of books that I feel like could be favourites of the year. Just cannot wait to read them all and chat about them. So yeah, let me know if you read any of these, if you have any thoughts, if you have any recommendations. In particular, have any of you read Daughter of the Black Lake? I haven't seen any reviews from other YouTubers I watch, so let me know if you've seen one and I will check it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!